Welcome to the Scale Builders Guild.
Welcome to our Harley design side.
Internet. Man,
Math
internet.
issues again, but we're here again consistently. That's what's important.
We're making it go now.
Seems like it's been more than a week since this show aired last.
Yes. It does seem like it's been longer than usual, but I think
like there's just a lot of things happening. Little things, but a lot.
Yeah. Lots of well, there were a couple, there was a release.
There was oh, that's right. See? Since last week, the thing that we couldn't talk about last week was a thing the day after, right? Yes.
That was just like the week before that.
Yeah, was there? Yeah, the Hammer Ray.
The Hammer Ray. This is episode 113, if you're following along at home.
Is it really? Did I name it right? I don't remember.
I am enjoying a Rolling Rock tonight.
I'm enjoying a bucket of coffee.
A Rolling Rock and pulling metal teeth out of the diff of my Mad Van.
Oh no!
I crunched up some bits in there.
I was doing some simple math on my way home today and realized, I was just like, as they handed me a large coffee, I was like, I've had over 100 ounces of coffee today.
What is that in milliliters?
Somewhat. Check in where you're watching from and how many milliliters you think that is.
Yeah, let us know how many. 100 ounces.
I'm going to Google it. You put your best guess down. Don't Google it yourself.
Don't Google it. Just guess. I'm not even going to look. From the tanks of old Latrobe. That's right. It's from the tanks of old Latrobe. It says it right. Where does it say that? From the glass-lined tanks of old Latrobe.
Old Latrobe.
Do you think they still make it in glass-lined tanks?
There's a Latrobe Road out here in the Sacramento area.
Yes.
And it's a terrible road. So you know what? I think that's a really good,
well, this
conversion
isn't a very good beer. DK wants to know if we can ask Rich, who's not on the show tonight.
He's not. I think we should have him in a couple weeks.
Yes,
we've been having new guests, but we need to bring Rich back so that we can discuss.
DK wants to know.
Build off.
Yeah, well, exactly. There you go. Who is responsible for the painted windows on the SCX 10.3 Basic Bitch?
Yeah,
that's what they call it. Basic Bitch. It's
so
basic.
Basic camp.
Basic camp. One night at Basic Camp. Speaking of nights, Hotel Night Cinema, thank you very much. Keep it coming, man. Love the blazer build. Thanks. I had a fun time getting that muddy.
So, Matt, for the official answer, it is 2,957 and change.
You've had 2 liters of coffee?
That's 3 liters. Damn near.
Say that again? What's the number? What's
3
the number?
liters. 2,900.
No. Oh, 2,009. Whew. That's a lot of coffee. That's too much coffee, Josh.
That is not too much coffee.
Well, I mean, it sounds like a lot. I don't know about you, but I've been getting a lot of pre-roll ads for this coffee replacement beverage called Mud. It's called Mud. Have you seen this ad?
No. I have YouTube Premium. So I don't know what this pre-roll ad thing is.
Sorry, not all of us.
Listen, YouTube Premium is a life changer, and absolutely, I can't believe you don't have it.
I want to see the ads. I want to support my own videos. I watch my own videos 100 times.
We get more support. We get specific support at a higher rate through YouTube Premium than we do from regular.
Spit take, really?
Yeah. If you go to your ad revenue, it's your revenue page, it specifically says YouTube Premium, and it gives you that percentage.
Okay.
So
Jay Walker said he's surprised you can't hear Josh's heart through the mic after all that coffee. It's a lot of coffee if he had to pay for it. especially that Dutch Brothers. Is that a brand?
Dutch Brothers, yes.
What do they know about coffee?
You know, I don't know.
If Josh looks blurry tonight, it's because he's vibrating. What's up? Wait, hold on. Lift that back up. Show me the bottom of it again. Just no, the under, like the bottom part. What's going on in the bottom there?
Oh, it's just a dark bottom.
Really?
Yeah. No.
That's syrup.
That's
not
not
syrup.
syrup. It's not syrup.
It's chocolate syrup. You're so sure it is.
It's just so packed with coffee grounds that the sediment of it is.
That's like
it's actually made. This is Senka, and you just.
That's pure Mountain Dew Baja Blast syrup at the bottom.
Baja Blast Java. Java Blast.
Crawler Baller, thank you very much. I drink mud water. It's fantastic. Not tasting, it just works. What is it? What? So
this is cold bean water. But
yeah, the dude on the mud ad isn't very persuasive. I agree, Kevin. The people are like, he goes, oh, he's like a cool dude, you know, he's cool, like kind of like me, and he goes, I had my mud or my drink, and somebody goes, what the F is that? And I go, it's mud. And I'm like, whoa, I gotta watch this whole thing now.
No, I've not seen this ad.
Some weird ass.
I'll be at work and Brandon will be like, "Oh, did you see this video that Hoonigan put out of this versus that?" And this, yeah, okay. I walk over there and he clicks on it and there's an ad. I'm like, "Ugh," just walk away.
Speaking of, and we'll talk about this very quickly, but I heard today that Netflix is considering doing a lower tier than their current tier. And what they're going to do is they're going to put ads in before every show. And you're going to pay a lot less a month and still get to watch Netflix.
I don't care what they do there. Like,
yeah, all I do is watch The Office.
We can't do that here.
And that's it. We still get it.
We do not.
Yeah,
I watch a lot of things on
Peacock.
Netflix. But not that anymore.
You got the Peacock on there.
Yeah.
Hello, YouTube Premium here. You're welcome.
Yes.
Oh, thank you, Sack the Ripper. Coffee and weed, those Dutch.
Damn dirty Dutch.
Hammy Storm probably. He is one of the brothers. He's the third brother, and they kicked him out.
Yeah. You talk funny.
Get out of here with your RC cars. Get lost. Nobody cares.
I think he painted this logo on something.
He did.
Speaking of paint, Matt.
Oh man, I can't believe it. I'm a little bit shocked.
I told you I was going to do it.
I know you did. And at first I was like, yeah, he's going to do it, but it'll be like one color. But you actually followed directions from someone else. You didn't do it all correct, but you did a pretty damn good job. And I will give you credit where credit is deserved.
What didn't I do correct?
Nice job, son.
Would like to know there.
So, yeah, did you, after you applied the salt,
yeah,
and you painted over the salt,
yes,
didn't you just like put it in the sink and get it wet, and then the salt comes right off again? You don't need to sand off the salt.
Okay, that's an interesting point.
Not an interesting point. That's a fact.
You
can go in afterwards and sand it to give it a bit more patina in those areas.
Well, then I'm gonna have to put that critique on Joe because I didn't see anything about wash off the salt.
Yeah, I think I mentioned that to him too after he made the video.
There's probably some salt right there in the clear coat now.
Oh, 100% there is. It's mushrooms. Oh, that must be what the mud. Right. There's also turmeric in there and some cocoa for flavor. Chuck's RC Habit, thank you very much. Good evening, Matt and Josh. Loved the mud blazer. Awesome build. currently mounting Proline Swampers with steady foam foams on Vitavon wheels. Can't wait to run them. Thank you for the video on the foams. My pleasure. That was a fun little video, just ASMR, just crinkling through the leaves and the squeakiness of the springs and the trans and everything. I thought that was fun.
Yep.
That was a fun one.
So, yeah, that's the SCX6. It's a whole different.
It's such a fun truck to drive. Every time I take it out, I'm just like,
Yeah, I know what you mean. Gunner,
it's great.
Thank you. Working OT tonight, so tonight's code is hashtag F my life.
Is that EFF or just F?
No, just the letter F, capital MY. No, capital.
All right.
Either way, Dana will post it so we can pin it.
Yes, please, Dana. Do it. The SCX6 was great. I like the Hyrax tires. I do have the Boggers, or what are they called? Swampers. I've got the Swampers. Actually, I've got the Swampers right here, already mounted up. I'm still waiting on the
Proline wheels.
The Proline method fronts.
Me too. Me as well.
That goes back to our conversation from last week about pre-orders. So annoying.
Thank you, Phoenix, because I don't think Dana's in here. Message pinned. Satisfied jerky. Oh, wait. No, Phoenix, you didn't put the website right. Unpinned.
Oh, golly.
Right there. Now he did it again.
Moose Judge said
Dana
true.
did it with the full address.
Oh, there it is. Good job, Dana.
Thank you.
See, that's why we employ for free the Mod Squad. Sorry.
The Mod Squad, our little mod chat, is a sounding board for all of our terrible ideas.
Yes. And also their terrible ideas.
Yes, it is not exclusive to only ours.
No.
There's
everyone's allowed to have bad ideas.
Like, man, I don't know.
One today, it was just before the stream started. I was like, no, don't do any of that. Just get the thing that goes on top of that.
Yeah, no.
Moose Jaw said true, but I like the wet sanding to sometimes wash.
Oh, I didn't wet sand. It was.
Oh, that is true. You did not wet sand.
Dry. No. Now
that's fine. You did all right. You did okay. It did turn out very nice. I'm pretty pleased. And if I didn't already have a better idea for our build off, I would be doing this same sort of job.
Did outline the number and everything, and then sand it back off a little bit.
Yeah, good. Good.
Because it was hard to determine. But
and I think you did a nice job, Josh, for someone who claims to not paint very much.
Ever.
I
went into the hobby shop and I had all this paint. I put it on the. Joe was in there just like saw all the paint. There he goes. He knew exactly.
I believe that I think West Desert Wheeler is actually in the chat here. Hi, Logan.
Hello.
DK was like, you're not supposed to be on here yet. We're supposed to be able to talk trash about you first.
I did see he did respond on the Instagram post saying that he has not watched Flying Cars yet, so I didn't know if we were still going to have him on or not.
Oh well, no, I think this should cancel it.
It's going to have to be up to the chat at this point. So
there's a lot of people who are talking about Flying Cars here. They're like, I watched Flying Cars. It's a movie. That is correct.
That was a movie. It was as long as a movie would be.
It had all of the parts of a movie.
There was the same people in different places talking.
The images were moving,
but
it was a talkie.
Like, I didn't get any of the things you guys were talking about, though. Like,
you just gotta listen. You just gotta read between the lines on that movie. It's not so much what's on paper as it is what
the hidden
goes
subtext.
Between that. Yeah,
it's behind the walls.
That's exactly right.
The fourth wall. Yeah, so we are going to have Logan on here, I suppose, even though he didn't follow the instructions.
There's only one rule for this show,
I know.
and that's watch the worst movie ever
nobody
made.
else has followed it. Like,
no, not once.
Brett, I think, did. I think.
Oh, Brett. Yeah, Brett did, but I think he felt obligated because we talk about this stupid movie so much.
And, or wait, no, maybe he didn't. I can't remember. Maybe he said he was going to with the wife.
He said he was going to, yeah.
That's right. But Tony did. CCXRC.
Tony's watched it, yes.
Tony watched it. So
I don't even know, like, if we ever got the producer and the director on the show, I don't think they've even watched it.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel about your own movie?
If we got them on the show, we would need to have a very bright light in their face on their end so it could feel like the interrogation that it would turn into.
Yeah. On to Rocks RC said, it felt like a throat punch. I paid for flying cars.
You know what? So that's some people's thing. Like, I don't know if you liked it or not then.
Hey,
but
it sounds like a winner to me.
Yeah, since we are going to have Western, we should get into mail call. But
let's do some mail call.
I say that with a caveat.
I don't have much.
I don't want to show you much.
Well, okay. Is it because it's for your build-off? Obviously. Know. I mean, you already showed me your big mistake. Or one of your mistakes already.
I showed you that.
Which was fantastic. Williams Lake Scale Off-Road, thank you very much. Okay. Evening, Matt from Northeast Washington. Hello. You're on the west. You're a Westie. Wait a minute. Washington State, that's on the west, right?
That is correct.
Okay. Oh, Gunner, check your website settings there, pal. I don't know that your Satisfied Jerky website is working. Or we crashed it.
We crashed it. So much jerky.
DDoS.
Speaking of Brett, when's A-Main Brett coming out? That's a good suggestion.
Oh, that's a great suggestion. I would get him on here. I can talk to him too, you know. I'm also capable of talking to people.
That's fine. So, man, yours looks so much better in this photo or in this view, like your color.
Why? Because it's blue. You blew it.
Both of these colors are not good, but
no, I said in the video that the dove gray was the least offensive.
These colors are just unimaginative. Is the problem?
I think somebody said though they were like, well, they were trying to match Tacoma colors.
I get it, but man,
a few years ago.
Those suck too.
Josh, you just pissed off the 3 people who bought Tacomas.
I know. But, and I have a Stingray Jeep, so.
But not me anymore. I hate that color now.
I hate that color now. But for those that, you know, Matt and I are going to do a 24-hour build-off.
Yes, and what that means is that we have no budget.
Yeah, that is
and
not
we
part
have
of it. Budget
that's
is
not part of it this time. This is a mayhem, so no budget. We've got 24 hours in which we can change the trucks to suit our needs or liking.
Yes.
That said, we have to keep the body.
Yeah, the body has to stay. That was
body has to stay, because otherwise, you know, both of us would have been like, "All right, welcome to the mayhem. Yeah. First step, get rid of this body."
There we go. Next, actually, I'm done.
It's already better. I win.
So yes, we have to keep the body.
Yes.
The least expensive part that either of us would be changing. Just the Lex. Nope, got to keep that. Based on everything else around it.
Yeah, but there's still lots you can do. Not just
a tremendous amount.
Tremendous amount of things. I've got a whole list of things that I've already decided I'm going to do.
Oh, so
now here's the thing, though. Because it's a 24-hour challenge, even if we wanted to, like, say, print stuff, or, you know, fabricate things, we can only do it within that 24 hours. We can't have everything like ready to go and just go zzz, 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 done.
Yeah. Someone had made a comment.
I finished it in 5 minutes.
Someone made a comment on Scale News like, 24 hours, like you build anything 24 hours, just depends on how much budget you have. I'm like, well, that's not true at all unless you're just like bolting stuff on, which to some people that's a build. That does not.
It's not exactly what we're doing.
Not what we're doing. Well, it's not what either of us would want to. Like, yes, you could just replace every part with an option part. Go, I built. Here's the build. It's not a build. No. But so here's my list of things that I hope to do. Yeah, I don't want you to really see it. It's just a long list of text.
Oh, sure it is.
So
that's just the grocery list. Let's be honest.
Now, how many of those things will be able to be fit into that time frame? Yet to be determined.
Yeah, because 24 hours. I think we're starting this officially on like Saturday. I think Saturday to evening. Sunday. Yeah,
to Sunday.
Saturday
evening.
To Sunday evening. But
24
hours. I've got a dinner on Saturday night, and then I might be doing stuff on Sunday. So, no, we'll figure it out.
I'm not going to sleep. I'm going to have.
Of course, you're not.
6 liters of coffee that day. I'm going
to. How far are you taking this? Are you going to be fabricating?
Yeah.
What are you going to be fabricating?
Didn't you just see the list?
I feel like I'm going to definitely be at a disadvantage.
I'm literally going to test myself to see how much I can get done in 24 hours.
See, chat and viewers, I have a life.
I'm willing to sacrifice almost anything for
Josh has none
of a challenge.
Yes. If this is just sort of us goofing off too. It's not even really like a full-on competition, but Josh is aiming to win as per usual.
You should always aim to win at everything.
Well, I've got a secret weapon.
Oh.
And I feel like this is peak, not cheating, but peak winning for me.
I love that thought. Yeah. Blind Guy RC, thank you, sir. Hey, man, this 24-hour challenge is cool. No cheating. I don't plan to cheat. I really don't. I could be 3D printing
There's no way to cheat.
I could.
Yeah.
Like, I could be trying to do things ahead of time, and I'm not.
No. I could have, and that's the other thing. Josh has the benefit of living in the place where things can be shipped essentially overnight. I don't have that option. So I have to lean pretty heavy on the hobby shops in my area or the stuff I have in this room. So mine's going to be a bit more whatever I got. That's what's going on here.
Which, by all means, it's not like that's nothing.
No, true. It's
like
not,
don't like trying to be like, just pour
please
me.
feel bad for me.
Just gotta use what I have on hand, guys.
Oh well, I guess it'll be okay.
Yeah, like
I mean, I've only got a selection of like 80 servos to choose from.
Yeah, like
maybe a few ESCs. I don't know.
Just
whatever I got.
Exactly. Dale C. also, thank you, sir. You better be live on YouTube or Twitch the entire time. I would if it wasn't going to give it away. Now, I saw the Trusty in here, which I think it's Nick Trusty. He said, Nicole, get me another liter of coffee. Nicole gone.
Isn't here. Yeah, thing. She's gone.
So
you're at another advantage there.
My plan?
Your significant other.
Sleep in as late as possible Saturday.
Oh, boy.
And then
just hit it hard.
Are
you going to vlog throughout, do you think? Like you're going to do... Okay. I'll do the same then. Blind Guy RC, thank you very much. Hey, man, great... Owain on the FMS. Hope all is well.
Great going. Great something.
Great
Who knows?
Something on the FMS. Hope all is well. Thank you. Everything is well. Glad you enjoyed that FMS video. Step 1, throw entire truck away. Step 2, buy good truck. Look, hey, let's not get it twisted. We haven't even really talked about this after last week.
We'll talk about it with Logan.
We will talk about it with Logan. He has one as well. But real quick, it's not bad. It's good.
To me, it's my favorite SCX3.
Right. So it's not bad. It's good. But there are some things about it that aren't great. But we're not the target market. Anyway, we'll save all this for later.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, John Derrigan says, what about design work? I haven't done any. The only thing I
can't do any of that either.
The only thing I have done is save photos. Gone through photos, saved some photos. I'm going to print them out for a mood board.
Hey, are you stealing my ideas over there?
I'm trying to get real good photos of the underside of license plate hangers.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Well, kids, you got to get it accurate. You ding dong.
But I have photos. That is something I have done.
Okay. Good for you.
Scale off-road. Thank you, sir. Evening, Josh from Northeast Washington. Northeast. I haven't been to that area. That's high desert, isn't it? I think that it is.
Or low trees. Somebody was asking about these pint glasses. These are Scale Builders Guild pint glasses. I'm not thrilled with the print because it's a process that paints it on there, and I'm not super thrilled with it. So I'm probably going to pull them from the store because they don't look that great.
Phoenix says, "Is this going to be the Jeff car from Top Gear?" What they changed it to something like
Jeff.
the
Thrustmaster 3000 or something.
It was like
Eagle Thrust.
Yeah, Eagle something.
Yeah.
The iJeff to the Eagle.
Here. Eagle Eye Thrust.
Eagle.
I can say with some satisfaction that whatever I do is going to look better than that thing.
I might put the box on the top.
The little view box.
Yeah.
For Hammond.
It was the Hammond hole.
Yeah. Can a flat rail be built ground up in 24 hours? I'm sure Josh is going to try.
I did that once. And competed with it. It was the brazen scale. That's why we called it one night stand at the time.
Hold all. Yeah, Matt's going to weather the F out of that shitty body. I don't know that you can weather a brand new Tacoma. See, that's the thing that's one thing about, I mean, Tacoma adjacent. But that's one thing about like a new body. You can't really weather it because
it doesn't look that appropriate.
It doesn't look appropriate, so it's not going to get weathered. I will be doing some paint work, but not weathering.
Yeah, this was a test run for what I was going to do. But then I realized that I literally spent 6 hours. I'm like, well, that's never going to goddamn work.
Oh, man. Prove it all 24-hour live stream. I wish, Oni. I don't think we've got... Because I won't be working on it for 24 hours straight.
I will be. So...
Josh's stream is just going to be so much more entertaining to watch because, like me, I'll just stare at it for 4 hours and then just cram. Get it all done in the last second.
My problem is that I would need like a live stream setup in the garage. Or like be able to switch between them. I'd need like someone reading me the comments in an earpiece so I could just... and honestly, how could you go 24 hours without just like picking your nose a handful of times? Like, God damn it, sorry, I'm on live.
Scratching your areas.
Yeah. Like, so we're really gonna see how much
it's gonna be an interesting little challenge. It should be fun. And this wasn't like I should paint it like my sleeve. Yeah.
Seems like a lot of work as well. Williams Lake Scale Off-Road. Good job on the patina paint job. I appreciate it. You know, it's
Make him feel as good as possible. A companion channel?
Yeah.
You're going to do Josh Paints.
RC Patina as well guy. No.
No, RC Patina Man.
Yeah, RC Patina Man. That's right.
I'm a man. I paint bodies.
Jeremiah Salvers, thank you, sir. Josh, I got paint to do my patina paint job. I will say I'm copying the color you went with. Got overwhelmed with a color. So wish me luck. Yeah, I know what you mean. I just was like, I didn't really go in with an idea other than I knew I was going to be running the gold wheels. So I was just like, this. I tell you what, it really added a pop of color to my paint drawer.
Heck yeah, it did.
It was,
Logan is coming. Not to worry, gentlemen. It's
Yeah.
You know what it feels like all of a sudden in here in the chat? It feels a lot like the King of Hammers live stream chat. Where's Light Bright?
Getting into mail
He's coming.
call.
He's coming. Yeah, let's do mail call real quick.
I'll start because this all started because
Son of a bitch.
I threw the body over there. But anyway, so I was ordering some parts ahead of time for this because, like Matt said, I do have that ability. And let me tell you, RC 4-wheel drive never lets me down. They just don't. There was something that was labeled SCX3 and then basically just some other text. Nothing else real specific about anything. So I ordered some of what I thought looked like Toyota-esque rock sliders. And they're these.
There they are. Looking good. That looks exactly
however,
like what you'd see on an FJ Cruiser.
These don't fit even between the tires of this. So that is how my build list is starting.
Hold on. Did you take them out of the package? Because that seems to me like you already started.
Nope. No, these aren't for this build, obviously, as you can tell here, because they wouldn't fit. Not. That's silly to even think that this was for this.
It was for the Gladiator you're putting together, obviously.
Yeah, obviously, because these are for a Gladiator. I wish they said that on the description. I got them and I went, oh no. And I went to the
These
item.
are too long.
Went to the item page. I was like, no. Doesn't say anything about Gladiator. Okay. It's not my fault.
They really got hooped on that one.
So yeah.
Good start. That's a good start. I got some mail from Crawler Cult RC. Actually, I'm wearing their shirt right now. Forever Tiny Wheels. That's pretty good, right?
It is very good.
There's a big one on the back.
Forever Tiny Wheels.
Yeah. Mark also sent me a couple of cool patches so I can put these on my carry-all.
Groovy looking.
Yeah, keep on tiny trucking, yo. There's also another one in here. What's this one? This is the other Crawler Cult RC. Look at that. Pretty good stuff, right?
Yes, it is.
He's got some funny stuff.
I think I have that patch right there.
Oh yeah. He does stickers too, and he gave me some cool stickers which I'm grabbing here. These are pretty nice. Got your USA #1 Crawler Cult sticker.
Evil Knievel #1, thank you.
Right, sorry, yeah, and then keep on tiny trucking, and probably my new favorite because this is who I am now.
God.
But it's like the Thrasher logo.
Yes.
For the skateboarding. I thought that one was really cool.
That's good.
So thank you very much for that stuff, Mark. Very nice.
Slightly non tiny truck related, but Rockform sent me a phone case and a vehicle mount, and I didn't really know of them until, even though they're a massive brand, and because Brandon was like, "Where'd you get that?" I was like, "Oh, and it's actually really freaking awesome in my Gladiator. It's got like the perfect mount for that."
Oh, nice.
So
does it go up on the thingy?
No, it's a little bit. I have it lower, like just above the volume area, because I don't like the phone up like I'm an Uber driver. So I wanted it.
Well, that, and you also don't want officers of the law seeing that your phone is up there.
Oh, it's fine if it's up there.
Is it?
Yeah. But it's down low. Then I can watch all of my YouTube Premium videos while I'm driving. And they can't.
I'm so glad you pointed out that it was Thrasher. Would have never guessed. Some children are young.
I kind of remembered, like, peripherally, but only
this episode brought to you by Rock Forum.
Brought to you by Rock Forum. I got some new stencil vinyl because my old stuff is terrible, and maybe I'm going to cut some stencils since I'm paint guy now.
Oh, snap. He's all of a sudden become an artiste. He's got the Cricut. He's got the vinyl. He's got
silhouette.
The patina. Oh, sorry. Silhouette. Okay. Next on my list, I got these. These are actually pretty cool. Dusty sent me these laser woodcut stands. They're like jack stand with a platform for the SCX20. Hey, you got some too. Right on.
I got these a couple of weeks ago, and I kept forgetting to bring them home. I finally remembered this week, and yeah. Crawl.
He also sent one that says, how appropriately, Matt!
In case you forget whose truck it is.
He also sent one, this is pretty cool. There's one with the actual SBG logo on there, which is sick. It's pretty cool. And my personal favorite, I liked the Matt one, but I also think that Family is the best one. Family. So thank you for those, Dusty. I put a link in the description of the video where you can pick those up. They're on Amazon, of all places.
Amazon.
Yes, Bronco was given away and sent and received, and that man is very happy with them.
Yes. 24.
The 24, yeah. Brazen Scale said, I would have misspelled your name on purpose.
Just one T.
Raptor Man 386. That must be Dusty. Thank you very much. Glad you like him. I do. I love him.
I got another
Crawler Cult our season here too.
Reefs 888 and another comp or the 300 IS comp spec. I'm running that in one of my trucks. That comp spec low profile winch is actually pretty nice. I really like that.
Would you say it meets the specifications of a competition?
You know what? It appears that specifications it would fall
of a competitor
guidelines. So yes, I think that it's sufficiently named.
What an interesting name then.
And then with that, I got servo washers and fair lead and winch line and winch hooks and.
Didn't you have this stuff last week?
That's why I said I got another one.
Oh.
Another set.
Okay.
Meaning, like, in addition to, like, I had the other ones and then got
I understand
more.
now.
Okay.
Right.
Well,
okay.
It seemed like it had escaped you. So
it did escape me at first. Okay, I got the new Crawlmaster Mini ESC version 2.
B2 with BEC inside.
Maybe. I don't know. It doesn't say anything on there. But improper installation will void your warranty, and there's no warranty card in here to send them.
So I don't know what to do.
Do I send them just the topper, like the
like box
the
tops.
hang tag,
just like the cereal boxes? So,
I'll just write on the inside, "Dearest John, I bought this. Thank you.
Please start my warranty period via the postmarked date."
Now, I bet they're going in the 24-hour builds. Those servos that
I'm not necessarily showing things that are going on the 24-hour builds. I'm trying to keep Matt's toes.
I haven't shown anything either, but I've got some stuff right over there.
I have a box down here that I'm not showing today.
I've got boxes of all kinds of things around here. I'm trying to figure out if I can get these SCX6 wheels on this somehow. Just really trim the fenders right out. Monster truck.
And
I do like mudding.
Lastly, for me, I got this very heavy Swag Off-Road
Oh, wow.
bandsaw table adapter for my Portaband. To basically, so if I don't have a bandsaw at home for metal, and I wanted one because I used to have one when I was in Missouri, but I've got a Portaband, so then you can mount it in here, and you've got a nice bandsaw table that is much more compact than other
The
versions.
bandsaw, is that one of these? That's a skill saw.
That is a skill saw. A bandsaw, the blade is a band.
Yes, no, I understand now. But how does that do with that?
So a Portaband is a small, like they're made to be handheld.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've seen. Okay, yes.
So
Yep.
then you mount it in there, it just sits on your
Yeah.
bench then. But it gives you a
Cool.
nice table.
Really nice way to just slice all those fingers right off. Ah!
But Swag
I don't
Off-Road
need
does
these.
make nice stuff.
That's cool.
It's
That is
super
pretty cool.
heavy duty.
It will be a cold day in hell before I recognize Missouri. I also, I'm sorry, dying still. There's another box out there, but it's just a Losi drag truck. I'm not even going to bring it in here because
You got the drag truck?
Yeah,
What
but I'm
color
not.
Did you get yellow?
Yes. What? I wanted that color.
I know. I bet you did.
But here's the deal. It's not official yet, but I'm giving it away. But I'm not doing the giveaway. It's going to be through somebody else.
Interesting. That's cool.
Yeah. I just, there was this thing, and I was like, yeah, I'll do something for that. Why not? So there'll be details on that soon. But I'm going to custom paint a Proline Mustang body.
Oh, that's right. Which one? Because don't they have two? No, the protoform is not for the drag trucks.
Right. Yeah.
The
This
old-
is the
60s style Mustang.
Sure. Like
That's
a
cool.
Shelby-esque
Yeah.
kind of,
Yeah.
yeah. It's going to be that one, custom paint job. I'm keeping the truck body. That's mine. Because I have another Losi drag car over here.
Did you get the roller? Or did you get the RTR?
I got the RTR.
Okay. So
So it'll go. Presumably straight. I haven't driven it yet.
exactly.
I've had it a year. Whatever, who cares? But I got all those cool decals because I'm doing Jungle Gym. Doing the Jungle Gym. Have you seen this before? Seen these decals?
No, I have not.
Okay, so this was a model that Revell did, and then the guy, Jim, or James maybe,
James.
Mr. James,
Jimothy.
Mr. Jimothy. This is the real car.
Okay.
But then I don't know which came first, the model or the real car. Anyway, I'm going to put those graphics
I have
on
a
that
guess.
blue body.
I have a guess.
You think the real car came first?
Just,
Anyway, yeah, so I got one of those. There'll be a giveaway and details coming on that soon.
Nice. Very nice. Should we
Mr.
bring-
HS, thank you. Matt, when are you finishing Ford Bronco pre-runner? I believe that's the fun haver. You were trying to make it. I thought it was a great build you started. I'll get to it eventually. I'm knocking stuff
officially
out.
axe it.
I don't know. I feel like I should do it.
Do you? Why?
Kind of. Why?
Yeah. Why do you feel like you should if at this point you've obviously lost some interest into it?
Because I've already got all this stuff. I just need to fab up a cage and stick the body on it. What?
Yeah. I
Right?
just need to do this 60 hours worth of work to get this.
It's a small project.
I did miss a couple super chats. Williams Lake Off-Road again says as well. Not desert, mountains and evergreen. Okay. That's
What
only
I
spent a
said.
little-
Trees.
There's like some high desert somewhere up there a little bit. It's kind of cool. And Blind Guy RC, thank you, sir. You will have some sort of insane overbuilt rig. I'm going to try my best to do a lot. We'll see how it goes.
Josh will definitely win this one on the fabricating end of things.
It
I will
depends-
probably
yeah.
win it on looks.
There's that. I'm going to put number 3 on the door and win.
Who gets the most sleep? Yeah. This guy. I win because I'm well rested. Jungle Jimothy. Yes, that's exactly who it was. How does Josh, of all people, not know Jungle Jim and Jungle Pam? I don't know. You're right, Alex. That is kind of a weird one. I don't disagree. All right. Real quick, I do want to show off the Hoonigan car that you love.
Yes.
Look at that thing.
You did such a good job. Now, did you do vinyl for that, or did you do paint?
It's vinyl.
Okay.
But it looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It looks fantastic. Really does.
Yeah, it turned out pretty good. The Fender Flares are from like this Sideways RC. That's the name of the company. They make Lexan Universal Fender Flares that are not universal.
Universal's a vague term.
It's vague at best. But I think it turned out pretty darn slick. I think it looks pretty close to the real deal.
My favorite Hoonigan car they've done.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's being rivaled actually by the that Rolls Royce that they recently did.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
I'll
have to look at that one.
But that Escort is still like my most favorite one that they've ever done. So, but that that would be freaking cool.
Yeah. This is good. I am glad I had all the Hoonigan stickers because I was like, I don't want to cut these out. I don't want to make those masks right now.
Universal means it doesn't fit anything. Like, yeah, kind of.
It universally didn't fit.
Yeah.
Andrew Bernardi, hey, buddy. How are you? Thank you very much for what appears to be some sort of fox smiling. Oh, Canadian dollars, too. All right. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
All right. Let's bring Logan.
You can ask a question if you want. And Crawler Baller, thank you very much. Yours will look better. Cough. TRX4 Sport Build-Off. Did I just say that out loud? TRX4 Sport Build-Off. Mine definitely looked better because it had Harley Resigns on the side.
Yeah.
All right. Go get them.
I'm adding. I just got to remember how to do that.
This is the hardest
freaking time I forget how to do this. Adding.
Every freaking time. It sounds like you added him.
I've got to do the other deal with the thing.
Oh, yeah.
And now he has answered. We have to figure out this work again.
All right. Am I here? You got audio?
Oh, I heard you. Hang on. Hey, look at that. There you are. 1 second. We're just making magic happen. Oh, look at you. So professional.
Let's see.
Why impression of professional.
Yes.
There's that.
I've got it. We're good.
Oh.
Logan's camera is better than yours, Josh.
That's because you have to see me through my less than fantastic quality webcam.
Oh, I've got the echo going. There we go. Fixed.
Oh. Do I have echo? Let's see.
Logan, can you say a couple things?
Yeah, absolutely. How's it going, guys? Thank you for having me on the stream. Excited to be here.
That's enough. Don't talk anymore. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us.
Have a great night.
Have a great night.
It was a great time. too many words.
That's a lot of words. It's too many. Welcome to the show, man. Thank you for joining us tonight. For those of you who don't know, this is Logan from West Desert Wheeler. I affectionately refer to him as Ding Dong.
Which was just, I think it was Matt one day he was like, oh yeah, I saw.
I was like, what's
video,
Ding Dong, Ding Dong.
And it's all the nicknames to stick. That was the one. So there's worse out there. I'll give you that. But Ding Dong it is.
This is true. Yeah, we could call you a lot worse things, and in fact, not have you on the show. So, I mean, you're already like top tier.
This is actually just an ambush for us to come up with more names. So,
yeah, you smell. No, it's really great to have you. One thing that Logan's very well known for is his exceptional running videos, which he actually does a great job of narrating in real time, I think. You're not going back and recording those afterwards. You're doing that live, aren't you?
Doing that absolutely live. There's a lot of spare clips in my computer that I'm sitting there talking, and then I trip and fall over, and I'm like, oh no, I gotta reset the car and go back over those lines again. But no, most of the time it's just off the top of my head. There's no script or any of that. It's just running and driving.
That's great. I have enough to focus on when I'm out there. The last thing I want to do is also start talking. Plus, I'm in a location. This is the other thing. The location that Logan gets to film in.
Yes.
Somewhere in the great state of Utah. I'm not presuming to know where because I don't know much about
it's
Utah.
It's the southern edge of Utah. It's the southwest corner, right by Nevada and Arizona. There's a town there, a city, St. George. I'm right outside of St. George.
Okay, so
one of my favorite places to crawl.
That's the other thing that's great about your stuff is that the location is absolutely fantastic, but you're also in a place where I'm sure that you can talk to yourself with a tiny truck and not look like a complete idiot. Because
that's definitely
where I am, there would be a lot of people making fun of me.
There's an area nearby where it's super popular for a bunch of people to go out, and there's a lot of tourists there, and you don't see videos of me driving there for that exact reason. I don't mind pulling the camera out and whatnot, but I don't want to be in a crowd of people like, all right, here we go. Gonna grab that hook on the front left tire there, grab a dig. Nah, I prefer to stay away from that situation.
Billy, stay away from that man.
I've had friends that could do that. Just be like, yeah, no, let's just throw. I'm like, like,
no, I don't.
I have a little bit of a hard time, like at Scale Nats when Matt and I were like vlogging in at the competition, like talking about what we're going to do on the course to the camera. I'm like, this feel, and everyone around us knows what we're doing and presumably who we are, like that we make videos fairly regularly. And I'm still just like, this feels weird. Like,
yeah,
but yeah, that's a tough part of YouTubing for, I think, even just any of us.
I've seen Logan, a couple people in real time where they snap into the full-blown, super excited intro. What's going on, everybody? And I'm like, yikes.
Yeah, I'm like, no way I'll do that. Bring that down. Like,
that's called influencers in the wild, and there's a whole Instagram about that. You should check that one out. Yeah.
If you don't follow that, you should. Instagram.
Yeah. Instagram or influencers in the wild. Now, burning question. This is as important and as technical as it's going to get tonight for me, anyway. Are any of your trucks waterproofed?
Waterproofed? The best there is the Capra fuel cell, which has got a custom Dremel hole, so I can stuff 8 servo wires through there. So, that's as waterproof as it gets right there.
Yeah. I don't see a lot of water hazards there.
Not many, other than the lake, which those rock formations are awesome, and they go all the way to the water's edge. And for some reason, there's 2 things I'm attracted to, is driving on cliff edges and driving right next to water hazards with a non-waterproof truck. It gets me going. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
It gets your heart racing. It's like 2,000 liters of coffee for somebody else.
3,000. So yeah, you're in that St. George area. I've crawled out there a few times, that Pioneer Park area, or up
that's
by
what I was talking about, where I don't go shoot videos.
And Pioneer Park's so big, it seems like you could kind of disappear in there without, but maybe on the weekends it's just that packed. I don't know. Like
these days it is. And with all the COVID stuff going on, everybody was like, let's go outside. Let's go to Utah.
Utah's the spot. There won't be any weirdos with toy trucks out there. Let's go.
Yeah, we can get it. What do you do professionally?
Like me?
Yeah.
This is it. I'm actually a full-time YouTube content creator.
There you go.
Wow.
So,
but not
as
just
much as this passes for professional.
Right.
But not just RC though.
Right.
No, I have 2 YouTube channels, and RC is the second, but I'm working on making it the primary.
Right. So, and I think I followed your other one first, like a while back.
Yeah. I had been leaving comments on some of your RC stuff, and My other channel
Yeah.
was West Desert Shooter, and so I assumed that you just like, who is this guy, and clicked on it and found me that way. Or
Well, yeah,
something.
you know, we don't often talk about that side of things over here, but it is a side of things that I grew up with and I'm interested in current still. So I was like, oh, and then I was like, oh, this is
I don't
fun
have
stuff.
any of that stuff.
Yeah,
It made
I know.
naming my RC channel a lot easier. I was like,
Yeah.
West Desert Shooter. What could I possibly name an RC channel? But I like the full size stuff too, so it's not going to be RC. West Desert Wheeler. That's catchy. Good
Yeah,
enough.
that works.
Done.
Yeah, we actually have a question about full size stuff here from JC's RCs. Do you have any future plans to own a full size crawler? Because your full size crawling videos are awesome.
Well, I greatly appreciate that. I do have the opportunity to go out with some of the full size buggies who are some of my buddies and whatnot. As far as owning my own, I have owned a full size. It was a Jeep CJ5. I chopped the back of the Jeep off, did a truggy back end on it. It had a Dana 60 front end, or a Chevy 14 bolt rear end, 38s. It was a great big Jeep buggy, and it did nothing but break on me repeatedly. So I decided to let that one go. I ended up picking up a Razor for a while, and that was totally trouble free. And recently decided to part ways with the payment of the Razor. So right now it's just tiny trucks. It's so much easier when you snap an axle and you pick up your truck and you say, I'm heading home. And then you need to leave.
That was full size wheel.
And this part will cost me $8.
Yeah. And you know, it's whatever. Like, or a chromoly one doesn't cost me $1,000. Like,
yeah, that was a big part of the full size stuff is I don't have the tooling and the knowledge of how to weld and fabricate. So paying the local off-road shops to weld and fabricate my Jeep after every run is like, that was a $700 run again and again. And I was like, I think I'm done with this.
Yeah, pass. I like the tiny ones too.
Yeah, you know, I would love to get back into doing full-size stuff more, but it's one of those things like you have to be ready to dedicate so much, like every available fund to it if you want to do it at I don't know. I guess that's probably part of always my issue. Like no matter what I get into, I want to just like, all right, how far into this can I get? Like how much can I
hobby?
Yeah. How much can I obsess and get the best? And like,
so speaking of that, Josh, you've been part of a competitive rock crawling team before, right?
Right. I used to do We Rock for like 3 years.
What time frame were you talking then?
2015 was the last year I competed at nationals. And then before that, it was 2012 and 2013. So didn't do anything 14. Yeah, I think that was trying to put them all together and remember that far back. But 2000, oh, there you go, 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
It's in 2000, the beginning of 2016 is when I moved out to California. So 2015 September was nationals, and then when I left that team and crew behind, and you know, I miss that stuff a lot. But spotting for full size is just a lot like driving an RC car.
So what's funny is I actually got into competitive rock crawling as well last year, and I ran a full season with a pro unlimited driver. I had never spectated a competitive rock crawl before. My first event I went to, I was in the pro class, and I had no driving experience with the rear steer car. I drive this around, and I convinced the guy, like, I think I can get you through some cones. And we sent it, and last year we ended up on the podium. I've got a
trophy sitting right
amazing. Here. So we got
who'd you spot for?
Pro class. It was Jeff Rubico, number 8.
Okay.
He's got a black and orange Jesse Haynes moon buggy.
Yep.
Nice.
Oh,
that's awesome.
He's got a Jesse Haynes buggy. I thought he was one of the other guys that also all have Jesse Haynes buggies.
Yeah, at one point it was joked about that it's not the pro class anymore; it's the Jesse Haynes spec class.
Yeah,
what that has become.
But I mean, they're pretty incredible cars, and honestly, it's done so much for that class. But what is fun? Like, I don't know. Like, how did you like? Isn't it kind of interesting how the RC side just translates so well to the full size?
Absolutely. I really enjoy being outside the car and being able to see what it needs. What
Yeah.
our biggest thing we worked on, what took the longest, was just our communication of what the driver and spotter needed to hear from each other. It wasn't that I couldn't see what the car needed to do. It was just me expressing that to him under pressure too.
My problem was having the, monkey behind the wheel do what I say.
See, that's why our relationship works so well, Josh.
Yeah. Like,
I'll drive. You tell me what to do. I'm happy to just do it because, I don't mind getting yelled at. So,
I needed the, because the driver, like I was running stock mod. I was not running pro class. So the one thing, pro class cars, the one nice thing about them is that they're so much more capable. So you can just like pull up to this ledge and you're gonna be able to climb that. I was in stock mod, so we're on 35s and bumpers and all that. So I'm like constantly having to carry rocks and stack and go like and they're strapped in there and they can't see anything in a stock mod car. So like you have no visibility, your harnesses are on. Like pro class cars, you can almost touch every tire and they're so cool.
Key component of that is the passenger door on the pro cars. It looks like it's got vinyl all down the side. It's perforated. It's clear, and they can see through their passenger side. You can't call it a door, but they can see through their car as well. On top of
they can almost
around
every panel. They can just
smart
see through everywhere. His with his buggy, doesn't the transfer case actually stick through the side a little bit?
Was that no? Pretty Pennies did. Pretty Penny had just a little window where the transfer case just barely poked out.
Yeah, there was a couple of them that did. I remember Pretty Penny did as well, but it was, everything's so it's like, there's not quite enough room. Just stick it out of the side of the panel a little bit. It'll be fine.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
And one thing that I've realized, which is pretty crazy, is it looks like a Jesse Haynes spec class, but those cars, if you really start looking at the details and the interiors, are all wildly different. They look very similar, but they are completely custom cars. And the engines, Pretty Penny probably had more of an angle of where the engine and transmission sat, which is wild in itself. The engine sits crooked in that car. Some of them sit straight, and weird details like that. Some of them, their transfer case sits here, and then cutting brakes are known, and it's pretty wild. There's a lot of variability in those cars. It's really fun to start looking at them.
I really enjoy that part of it too, because you buy this chassis kit, and actually you can buy so many brackets for it already pre-done for pedals or master cylinders or this or that, links, shocks. But then you still have to fit the rest of the stuff in there, and there's still a lot of custom work that goes into those. And every one of them, it's cool to see the little differences and how Jesse pushes things here and there. If you ever get a chance to go to a We Rock event, which they're spread out all over the US, so there shouldn't be one too far from you. It's worth going, man. There's such a good time to watch, and you can get right up to it. You can almost, you ask someone nicely, they'll probably let you climb in. Like
it's like every Axial Fest when Randall brings Pretty Penny was there one year. People just, let's go for a ride. You're driving it now. Yeah. RC Girl got to drive it.
I drove it last year as well.
That's right.
I've driven it.
There you go. Yeah, because you're friends with, Randall quite well, don't you?
Yeah, he's local to where I'm at. So it's been really awesome hanging out with Randall, both in the competitive scene because he does the full-size stuff and then the RC stuff as well. Me and Randall, we go wheeling every now and then. It's awesome.
Did you know Randall before he moved to Utah, or did you move when he when he moved there? Nice.
Wow. And I mostly started talking to him through the competition thing. But as far as spotter and driver go, your guys' Scale Nationals video, I was not mad at all with the calls you were making for Matt, and I thought you guys did make a great team. Like as much shit talking there is on this show, I really enjoyed watching you guys work together. It was awesome. So I think Matt did great with what he was being told.
Just follow the rules. Follow the instructions, and you tend to do better, especially with somebody as I hate to say this out loud, but with somebody as talented as Josh.
That's
true.
I'm telling you, it's in the spotting, it does. It just goes back and forth, and once you tell, when you start saying driver versus passenger, little things like that, rather than like saying turn left, it's like, well, my left.
I'm left.
Yeah.
Driver passenger makes a lot more sense. But speaking of competition, Logan, you actually run a tiny truck comp in your area, don't you?
Yes. So I had put on a few of my own just single events last year, which is last year in January was my first RC competition. And now I'm to the point where I'm running a whole series. So I'd done a few of my own on just solo comps. And a buddy from mine up near Salt Lake, he came down to my first competition that I had run. And he was a big fan of it. And he ran one up north. And then I started talking with him. I was like, dude, what if we did, you run a 3-part series up north, I'll run a 3-part series down south. And then at the end of each of those series, we'll have a North versus South Utah State Championship. And so that's where the idea came from. And so we just finished up the 3rd round in the North, and my 3rd round in the South is this weekend. So I've got my courses all laid out there. Excited to go out this weekend, and we're going to be hosting the final competition we're in Cedar City, 3 Peaks, for the state champ. That will be in 2 weeks. And that one
amazing.
I'm really looking forward to, because we're going to be camping out all weekend. We've got some of the sponsors coming out. Like, I believe Randall from Axial is going to be there. We've got Rock Pirates RC coming out. Reefs donated a bunch of stuff. We got Spec RC sent it. Like, it's awesome. I'm looking forward to having not only all my buddies from these competitions come down, but also meeting new people, like the sponsors and stuff coming out. It's going to be a great time.
That's
3
amazing.
Peaks is such a cool place to comp too.
And in this comp, is it is it Sorka rules or a Sorka modified rule, or
it's very relaxed. It's somewhat Sorka. Class 2 is basically like 4.75 tires, chassis mounted motor and transmission. Chassis rails need to be the length of the wheelbase minimum. Like, we want to try and make it just stringent enough to where you can't have like a sporty show up. So we try to make it as relaxed as possible to get more people into it, because we have a ton of people in my area that like to crawl and whatnot. We just don't have Sorka built trucks. And my goal is just to get more people out and having fun and competing. And then we also have an unlimited class where anything goes. So we're talking MOAs if you want.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Okay, that's great.
So you're not doing like no bump. You don't have to do bumpers or now winching at all? No winching.
Yes, winching is allowed, but I've mainly designed my courses to, if you can drive it correctly, they are possible without a winch. Winches will make certain things easier, obviously, but I don't want to make them a necessity, because that's another very divisive thing in my area. Is some guys absolutely despise winches. So I'll design my courses. You need to be able to know how to wheel, but you can get through them clean. And that's what I go out and set courses beforehand, and I drive them winch free. I will make them very difficult on certain things with my trucks. So if your truck can't quite keep up with mine, that might be on you. But
that's a good way of doing it, actually. I like that. I'm Emo Vengeance. Thanks very much. He has a question here. Do y'all prefer C-channel frames for comp rigs, or do you prefer flat rail? And then explain why.
I'll let Logan go first on that one.
Logan, you can go first.
Okay. So my first competition, like I mentioned, was just last year, and I started out with an SCX-10-2 based build. Rock Pirates RC makes a ton of awesome performance parts, which I am part of their team. So they make a ton of awesome stuff like shock towers. They make a servo winch tray, which is key for getting a winch in your vehicle, a new battery tray. It's really performance driven. And I've been able to build I call it my Rock Pirate wagon, because it's a power wagon body. And then I've been able to get that thing competitive with the flat rail guys. And I've even won against several, the majority of the class was flat rail trucks. Now, granted, that's our small area, and I'm not on a national level beating everybody, but I certainly would feel comfortable competing with that truck against a national level crawl. So I think that a C channel can absolutely be competitive, but I also have a G Speed. I've been playing with that. I think it's super fun. Again, if you get it built just correctly, I think it's a great truck and can absolutely be top level competition for sure.
I like C channel. The end.
Yeah. Sorry, I guess I went on a little long there.
No, it's fine. There are benefits to both. Certainly in any comp, I think if you want to be super competitive, and if you are, looking for like the ultimate in customization, I don't think you can beat a flat rail chassis. There's just so many more ways to build it.
And there's so many less restrictions on construction with a
with
a flat. That's the big. Honestly, I mean, I've made fun of flat rails for a long time, like for a reason. Like I get why flat rails are popular. It's because they're easy. It's not because they're, you're cutting it out of flat. You drill some holes in it and you make it a flat rail. Like I get it, and for that reason they can be adapted. You can change them easily without tooling. It's just a quick thing to do. So, and you can make it out of material that is, very light. You can use carbon fiber. You can use G10s and things like that. So it makes sense. I get why. And I make fun of them a lot, but I have way too many of them now. I've got
I said the same thing.
Flat rail rigs.
I'm not really a big fan of them, but I've got 5.
And I actually do have some of the Rock Pirate stuff. I actually have some of their sliders here. These are like the heaviest sliders I've ever had, though.
So those sliders are the wider ones they offer. Those are significantly heavier than their Power Wagon sliders, and I don't know the reasoning behind that, other than just durability, I guess. Yeah. But those, I agree. Those are some hefty sliders.
Cool. They got a cool logo though, like just laser right into the side. Cool little pieces.
Actually, I sent mine. I sent the set I had to Dana, one of the mods. Actually,
they actually fit the base camp quite nicely.
Whoa! Hey, you're not supposed to start yet, Logan. You got to wait until the 24-hour window starts. And they actually look like they're the proper width. Yeah, they actually seem to fit between the two tires.
They fit between the tires. They didn't touch both tires at the same time at all. Like, God damn it.
All right, so I'm sure that we'll get into the base camp, but real quick, what's your current favorite truck, Logan?
Current favorite truck? I grab...
he pushes the base camp.
Current favorite truck. Yeah, here. I grab this car more than any of my others. This is my rear steer. I call it the Tiger Capra for obvious reasons. It's an axial Capra. I converted it to rear steer, and it's got the full Vanquish treatment, got axles, transmission, and lots of fun stuff going on. But just
there's your problem.
In my area and terrain, there's a ton of little cracks and crevices to follow and chase, where sometimes the drag axles in certain spots are impossible to get through, or very difficult in a lot of them, which I've got that skill down pretty good, because that's one of my favorite things to go drive. But this car is able to just cruise through them and find the new areas so much easier, and I can just cover ground in that thing.
Yeah, I mean, I was not a big fan of the Capra when it came out. I've said it a million times. And then the four-wheel steer Capra came out, and I hadn't had a four-wheel steer car in a long time. And I was just like, I freaking love driving this thing.
Granted, while you were there saying, "Oh man, I don't like Capras," I'm sitting here with my rear steer Capra. I'm like, why not? It's awesome.
Yeah, I'm sort of with Josh. I was not as thrilled with the Capra right off the bat, but after modifying mine, I actually like it a lot more now.
Into your not a Capra?
Yes.
Yeah. Into your SCX2, but like to your narrow Wraith. Like,
yes. It's a very narrow Wraith. Exactly. That's what I like about it now.
And I really enjoy the Capra in that form. I think that is the best form for that truck.
Yeah, it made sense that they went rear steer with it. They should have done that from the get-go.
You know what? If you would have asked me that at the start, though, I wouldn't have said so.
No, you wouldn't have. No, neither would I.
Like, no, that's like, it's a lot. It's, it's all the extra. And they did it, and it just, even the programming they put on the DX3 with the 5 position, I'm like, that's exactly how I like to run mine.
Exactly.
And I was just like, wow, they did such a good job.
Modifying back to the full size things is, in my area, that's all we have here is rear steer buggies. If you're not running a rear steer buggy, you're not running the hard stuff. So like, I enjoy driving the little one like that, because same mentality. I can run it through the hardest spots possible.
And then how many total rigs would you say you have right now, like in functional working order?
Receivers is my limitation. I have to rob receivers out of my cars. I think I have somewhere 8 to 9, something like that. You can almost see all of them. They're all hanging out. I have a Wendigo laying over there, and then a SCX6 with no front axle under it over there.
All right. Well, we won't cancel your stream quite yet for the Wendigo. But
I tell you what, I built that Wendigo
wait.
kit version.
It was a kit. There we go.
I built that.
It was a
I
kit.
built the kit as well.
redeemed.
I will say that the Red Cat instructions were pretty freaking good.
Yeah.
The parts that they were depicting, not my favorite, but the instructions quite well.
I don't have the experience with as much as you guys would do with as many kits as you built, but I ended up with a complete truck in the end. So whatever that means for their instructions.
If Traxxas kit is like the top level best I've ever used, because their kit instructions are outstanding. And then TWS would be somewhere near the bottom.
What?
Red Cat was just a couple of steps below the top. I'm just
What are you
saying,
talking about? This thing went together like no problem. When you have the help of the designer on the live stream walking you through it.
The hot garbage that those instructions were is only matched by the stickers you put on the side of that thing.
I stopped by your live stream right about the time you were hitting level 10 out of 10 frustration. That was when I jumped in. I was like, oh, nope. Spicy over here.
Josh was not enjoying that build at all.
Harleydesign better than the Phoenix ones? Yeah, I mean our instructions are good enough, but there's always room for improvement. And I guess I've stared at them so many times that I'm always just like,
Did you say Traxxas was the best?
Traxxas is the best instructions in a kit I've ever used.
100%. Color.
The color printing is, I mean, that's absolutely
I had no
right.
complaints on the instructions on my Phoenix kit. I had COVID when I got my Phoenix, and it was like day 2 it showed up at the shop, and I was like, perfect, give me the truck. I'm gonna sit in my room for the next 3 days and build the truck. So that worked out really nice.
Perfect timing.
Tamiya has excellent instructions. I disagree.
It's the Tamiya way. If you know, you know.
I've built like, I don't know, over the last few years I probably built 20 Tamiyas. And they're like average or just slightly below.
Yeah,
I never built anything. I've never owned anything Tamiya.
What? And he's never watched flying cars. So
where you're
hit the bricks
where you're coming into the hobby now, like if you start to build it to me, you're gonna be like, what? Like, like
I don't get it.
Why are there no bearings in this kit? Like, oh, you have to buy those separately. Like, oh, why do I have
not always
Philips hardware? Like, well, it's not Philips.
It's not Philips.
It's JIS.
Logan, let me sit you down and explain a few things to you, okay? This isn't made to be good.
The only one that seems appealing is a King Hauler. And that's the one.
Oh, yeah.
The worst
Those are
of the instructions, though.
Horrible to build. Very difficult.
They're more later. The King Hauler is like a super old kit. And I swear to God, like, you'll be on one page of that truck for an hour and a half. They're like,
what to me a kit isn't old.
Yeah, like,
well, there's a few new ones.
Yeah, like,
but you don't want them.
You should build a dancing rider. Do you know what the dancing rider is?
I've seen it on here. Yeah.
Okay, good.
All right. Okay. All right.
No.
We'll allow that. Okay.
That one's getting obscure at this point already.
Yeah, exactly. I think they discontinued it. Let's talk base camp.
Yeah,
we might as well, because we all have one.
Because Logan and I have discussed it a little bit already. And
Matt got the right color. I don't know what happened to Josh.
Josh never gets the right color, ever.
Never.
He's always denied the proper color.
So, I think obviously we can see already that, like, I lean towards performance where Matt is scale.
I'm all over the map.
But I think that we can already tell, Logan, you're leaning more towards well past where I usually lean before towards performance being my, like, I usually have a certain, I'm still picky on some things on the scale side.
Yeah, like we were talking about, you say painted windows are absolutely unacceptable.
Can't have them.
Unacceptable.
Not a thing.
Not.
So from
Where Logan's from, that just means he doesn't have to worry about an interior.
right. So my point is, if you're not going to do an interior, do I want to stare inside of the transmission that doesn't look like a transmission and see the receiver light blinking? And like,
I'd rather see that than nothing.
Yes.
I
Yes,
would
you
rather
do.
have clear windows and an interior. I'm on that page, but
Okay, all right.
I'll
Again,
allow
on
that.
my side, yeah, definitely. That's fine.
There's
you can add an interior, but see, it's easier to add an interior than it is to take paint off of those windows.
see, but you put the body you want on it, and you have clear
No,
windows.
no. You can't change the body, Logan.
Yeah,
are you not
that's
paying
the
attention to
rule.
this challenge?
Yeah.
I just
Worst
and you know the other
interview
thing-
ever.
The other thing that I didn't really like, I was so blinded already by the fact that like painted windows are ridiculous and terrible, and I can't let that decision go. That I just overlooked the fact that people are like, why did windows have to be silver? Why?
Yeah, why wouldn't they just make them black?
And I was just like, oh, I didn't even think about that. I was just looking at silver painted or silver stickers on painted windows, and I was like, oh yeah, black
Yeah.
even would have been better. But
Like maybe they tried to make it look like it was a reflection, but
I think that's
Yeah,
what
the
they
rear
were
window
going
has a
for.
bit of a fade. It's
Little
black
gradient
silver.
to it.
from no angle does it look like it's...
No, there's no
It's
angle
just
that you
silver.
can do. It just
So
looks...
I've got an interesting question here. I see a ton of people lighting up the base camp saying my TRX4 Sport is so much better, but the TRX4 Sport has painted windows.
Yes.
So
Well,
they're
neither
saying-
of us said that it was better, so
right,
we're not in
they're
that
just
camp.
saying that the body is better on the Sport, and I see them as exactly the. I prefer this because it looks more like a real truck.
I think that the TRX4 has a more stylish body.
Anyway.
Yeah, it has merits.
It's
It actually
got-
does.
There's some
layers.
sort of like there's a little something going on. Like
It also on the back there, doesn't it have like
No.
some semblance of a drop bed? There's some.
I would say
there's
that
some
it's like
depth.
3 to 4 times the depth of a base camp drop bed. It's right
4
around a
millimeters.
quarter of an inch. Like it's
drop
like
bed points.
3/8 of an inch even. So like
But
the thing is, the TRX4 Sport, the center of gravity, like the battery position, is not good. The TRX4 Sport is not a great performing truck. It just isn't. Like
it's
I have
it's
two of
probably
them
the
still.
best performing of all of them, maybe out of the box.
Probably, yeah. But the TRX4s are not great performing trucks in general until you try and help them out with whatever method you're going to try.
Right. We did argue
But they're the most
in both
durable.
of our reviews. They are definitely the most durable. I'll give them that 100%.
Yeah.
But I think, Logan, you can probably agree with this sentiment that this SCX-10.3 is probably the best SCX-10.3
absolutely
out of the box. Yes.
And so
I-
for me, someone who wants highest performance possible, this is not only going to be a very high performing truck compared to the other 10.3s out of the box, but once I start throwing upgrades I choose to on this, it's the shortest path to my finished goal. Like this is the most stripped down basic version. I'm going to throw some towers and sliders and wheels and tires on it and electronics, and she's there.
Yep.
Yeah, the tires leave a little bit to be desired on this. They
They're-
look great. I really like the Falcon, but the compound is not good.
It's not as soft as I was anticipating, but it is way better than the Nittos that came on the RTRs and the kits from the JLs.
Axial still uses R35 as the
Moniker, but it's not
compound,
R35.
but it's not the R35 we remember. It is not nearly as good as R35 used to be. If this tire was done in the old compound, it probably would have done better.
Much better. Yeah.
Reasonable.
And I agree very much with you there, Josh. I really like the look of this tire. It looks super aggressive.
Yeah.
I successfully removed these from the glued wheels and tires. 325 bake in the oven will crack those right off.
Superb.
Same method I
can't
use.
get these to remount on the spare set of beadlock wheels I have, so I'm going to try them one more time.
Really?
But I would really prefer that these were back on the truck. Yeah, I had some SSD wheels that I was trying to mount these on and couldn't quite get the bead to stay on the lock ring. It kept the beadlock would pull through the tire. So that's why they're not on the truck. I was going to put them on my truck with beadlock wheels.
So Axial has done this before. And that is that the tires that they've put on a truck with glue on wheels, the bead was not the same bead that they would normally use, either by mistake, like it was a mistake in the design and it never got checked because they weren't putting them on bead locks or anything like that. But it happened on the first one was the Bomber RTR, the first release of the Bomber. And I think it was because, hearing the story later, was because it got scaled and they scaled some things up and they didn't really check that some of the other things got checked to fix that. And,
it's that.
It got changed later, but
worst case, I'm not against running a 2.2 wheel on a 1.9 tire. And if that's what I had to do, potentially, but I don't know how desperate I am to get these back on the truck. I do like the look of them a lot. I'm a little sad that I tore them apart. If I can't get them back on a 1.9, I would have just left them on the wheels, but I really thought oh, cool. I'll bolt them back.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah, it's good to know. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for trying it.
Yeah.
Don't do what Ding Dong does.
No reason.
But otherwise, I mean, the transmission seems okay.
The transmission's better than the other forward.
Yeah, because there's less going on there for sure. I think
the motor was so high.
It was pretty high. Yeah,
TF2,
it was pretty high.
I would say.
Yeah, it was very.
Yes. Yeah.
People are like, yeah, forward weight is good. I'm like, well, forward is good.
Forward is good,
but low is
high
better.
Low is better.
So
I'm really sad that I forgot to mention how flexible that battery tray is, like you mentioned. And Josh folded it and touched itself the other night, and I was laughing out loud. That was hilarious. Like,
Matt and I were talking about it before it released. Like we had spent some time after these streams, like still
going over
Skype.
it,
and I'm just like, have
what?
you? Because he hadn't looked. I was like, have you looked at this battery tray? Like, and I forgot to put it. There was so much in the trying to fit into the the review videos that you can't always remember to fit. It's just
I just
a
did
Dumbo
myself,
battery
but it's
tray.
still funny to watch it happen.
It's really strange, and the other one is the same way. They're both.
It's just
like
shorter.
that.
Yeah, it's just mounted down a little better.
Luckily, none of the other plastic is like that.
Asking why his video size keeps changing. It's just it's a bandwidth thing. So like
bandwidth.
If his bandwidth is a little, like, he's on cellular, I think. So as his cell phone hunts for signal, it changes the size of his video output a little bit. It's fine.
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
The audio is the most important thing.
Yeah, as long as we hear him,
which is good.
I'm not running live streams every week, so I don't have this awesome setup. I've got a
exactly. That's weird.
Well, that's not everybody's as cool as us, I guess.
Yeah, Matt does run live streams every week, and we started this week with him having to reset.
I had to reset the modem
setup 10 times.
I've always wondered what's going on when it's like 7:03 and nothing's on yet. I'm like, I know that there's just frantic clicking away and like trying to get stuff to work.
It's mostly Josh, but every once in a while I have like a hardcore problem.
It used to be me, like the first 10 weeks. And then since then, it's only been you.
No, that's not true. Don't lie. Metal panhard bar or mount. I love that they did that. That was great.
That that was definitely needed. I was glad to see that.
Now, one thing I didn't check, and I guess we could probably check it right now. Do you know if they changed the shock tower material? Because remember,
they used to squeal when you would.
They would squeal, and they would suggest that you did a little tap before you started to screw them in.
I have not adjusted. Have you adjusted your shocks yet, Logan?
I have not at all.
I wonder if it squeals.
Nope, it's different.
No squealing?
No squealing. It's different material.
Yes, that is clearly a different material.
Well, that's good news. Because that was really super annoying.
At your guys' drivers, because this is my driver.
What do you got there? What is that? A Makita?
A brushless Milwaukee screw gun with 100 foot-pounds of impact torque.
You don't need that.
I've got
exactly.
But I'm telling you, there's
nothing better than this gyro, man.
When I'm doing this.
This is honestly the best thing ever.
Screw, and it was hilarious because I had my 2mm bit in one of my axles, and I had the direction set wrong, and I just do my normal thing, just ease on the throttle, and it just slowly starts spinning, and I'm like, that's weird, nothing's happening, and it just pulled all the threads right out of the axle. It was screwing a tight screw in, and it was just like, okay, no problem, I'm gonna pull all these threads out now, and then the screw just fell out the other side. So
yeah, all right. I mean, I've had it where I've even just gone to remove a screw with this little guy, and it just takes the head off. Like
okay,
cool. That's just staying in there.
I don't need that one.
I mean, already, if you have videos like showing a driver, like you'll get people being like, you should never use that on a build. Like, it's fine.
Whoa, hey, easy there.
We're not all about performance, even in
his drivers.
By all means, I like having nice, powerful tools.
Well, but takes one to know one, Josh.
Time and a place. Yeah.
So, what's your Logan? I hate to say this, but I don't think I watched your review all the way through. What's your final verdict on this truck?
I think it's a great base. I think it's a great base to accomplish what I want out of the trucks, which is, like I said, throw on a few parts and create something like my 10.2 build, just the more modern version. So, I mean, this is an SCX 10.2. It's got towers and sliders, a battery tray and whatnot. But overall, it's a C-channel chassis, and I think the 10.3 is a little bit better chassis design. It's got a little more arch for the portal axles and whatnot. I think I'm really going to like this truck. And I do. I had somebody at a competition trying to convince me that I was not telling the truth in my video. They're like, well, I heard what you were saying, but really this is what you meant. And I had to his face. I was like, no, I really like it. And then he tried to do it again. And I was like, no, I like this
but
truck.
Seriously though, man.
You don't.
Seriously.
Like I do.
It's me. It's me, Logan. It's me. Yeah. You can just say it. Just say it. No, I'm not. I think it's so weird because the majority of the commentary on my review were people like, so you don't like it then? It's like, well, no, I didn't say that. I don't like the body. I think the body kind of stinks. And I hate the painted over windows. But otherwise, underneath, aside from a few other like, kind of moments, it's a pretty good truck. And it's a good starting platform if you're going to do a build or if you're going to take it and make something out of it. This is a great place to start. It's also entry level. So it's not supposed to be like the mid 60s Bronco that they did. You know, those are in completely different realms of pricing too. So, you know,
I mean, I would have been happier with the SCX. Like, I didn't love my SCX3 performance wise. Like my original one, just didn't like that transmission all that much. But the performance wise, now granted that one had a big body with an interior cage and all, like it's gonna be heavier. Even if you put that on top of this one, like, okay, that, you know, the performance obviously would have been hindered. But beyond that, like this truck is I used to always suggest the SCX2 still. Like, this could start to.
This is probably going to steal a bit of that.
I would be fine now recommending this truck to people compared to, like, you know, I had no problems just saying, no, I'd still rather get the SCX10 than the SCX3. But this one is now other than the looks, I still have a hard time with the looks. And if you don't like looking at what you're driving, then I'm just like,
That's a great bit of advice I've heard you mention a few times is make sure you like what you're looking at. That's really good advice for the beginner.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, if you're not happy looking at it, like, don't buy it. Like, and that's a big problem with this truck.
You know, the other argument is if this is the base that you want to start with, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to continue to use that body for very long anyway.
I don't know that that's true for new people.
You don't think so? I think that's part of the fun of this hobby, though, Josh.
I agree that
you go out there, you buy an RTR, much like I did. Well, it wasn't an RTR; I was a kid, but I ran the what was that weird body they did? CF100. CF100. And I ran that for like a week, and I was like, I don't like this body anymore. I'm getting something else. So I think that is still a big part of it. And
it's a part of it, I agree. But you go to Axial Fest and just look around. You'll see seas of deadbolts and honchos and Jeeps, and like people in general like to go out and play. Like the three of us are not a majority of this market. People like they buy their truck and they want to, they're going to put wheels on it. Like, that's a thing. They're going to put links or a servo, like whatever, but because those things will fail or break or bend. They want to change this or that. But bodies now are expensive, and then you have to paint them, and painting is not a comfortable thing for people.
Well, for not for you.
I'm a pro though. So but like it's intimidating. For one, a Power Wagon body now is like what, $65? Something like that. It's not, and then you got to paint it. Paint is not cheap. Like, you got to figure out how to mount it. You got to do it. It's.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's. We'll stop it after this because this is, we really should talk to Logan. But the thing about it, I think, is that if you're looking at this hobby from an enthusiast point of view, there's always going to be something to change or something new that comes along. And I think that most of the people who get into this are getting into this because either they want to recreate their actual truck that they have, or B, they want to get into something where they're going to be outside and seeing other people and having a bit of fun. And naturally, whatever you start with is not where you're going to finish with. I think most people love the modifying and changing and creating, being creative. So
I have a few thoughts on this
body
Logan versus something like the 10.3 JL or even the Gladiator. I'm not hesitant at all to go out and scratch this, whereas my Gladiator, I treated with a little more respect than I normally would because I wanted it to look nice and presentable. And then the other part is, if I bought the Gladiator or JL, I'm way more hesitant to throw away that highly detailed body for something else and swap it. Whereas this is like the servo. I'll swap it out as soon as it's done, and I'll put what I want in there.
Yeah.
So I think going that route. But I had a 2009 extended cab Tacoma, so this is about as close as you can get to that truck. So it is already a clone of my old vehicle, other than the color. So
that's a big part of why Jeeps sell so well for these things, because people go in there like, I want that because it looks like it.
It looks like mine.
They don't go in and buy a deadbolt, so they're like, you know what? I'm going to make this look like mine. That's why Jeeps sell.
and I speak with Randall and whatnot, who I know works at Axial, and I had mentioned, I was like, if you make a double cab second gen Tacoma, they will sell, because there's a huge market of double cab Tacoma owners.
Right. And the other thing we have to remember at the end of the day is that people like you, Logan, and people like you, Josh, and people like me are not the target market for this truck.
No.
We are absolutely not the market. And most of the people,
the base for a custom build type.
Yeah, market. Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. There's still that portion. Absolutely, we are part of the market, because we will gladly toss the body and just use it as a platform on which to build something else. But the majority of people who are going to buy this are not the people who are on the forums, not the people who are watching our YouTube channel. Well, maybe they are now. But they're people who are like, that looks cool. I want to have some fun. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to get that thing.
And it's the cheapest when you sort low to high.
Right, exactly.
There you go.
It has everything I need except a battery and a charger. I'm in.
Yeah. Scott O'Blander, thanks, sir. Separate receiver and ESC for a win. That is honestly, that I appreciate that they did
win.
that.
I'm really glad to see that as well.
Me too.
Brian Sherwood, $400 RTR, $600 upgrades. Go with Fingers Pro. While I'm Fingers Pro, you still got a lot to go there. I really like that. It's my favorite truck. But this truck doesn't need 600 in upgrades either. Like far as the target audience, like this truck.
We could do a budget build on this.
No.
I said we could. We're not going to.
You're right.
We're not going to.
My eye is twitching. Like it literally started twitching, and I was just.
Logan, you've done like build series? Like I've seen you go through some of your builds on your channel. Is that sort of like a focus for you? Is taking something and modifying it, making it your own?
I usually do that. It depends if I properly document it or not. Is really the difference. I went that route with the TRX4 Sport specifically, and I started out with the base truck, went out and drove it. Okay, here it is. Add a few things, go drive it again, repeat. And overall, I ended up pretty happy with how that truck. Happy with that truck in the end. And I think that I'm going to do something very similar with this base camp. Is I've already started it, and I've gone from the RTR truck. I've done some real basic stuff, wheels, tires, and sliders so far. So It's probably semi-eligible for another video. Go out, drive it, and then as things go along, and as Rock Pirates finally comes out with their 10.3 parts, which are coming soon, then it'll get more upgrades. So that's
also the benefit of that great terrain you have, is that you can kind of do these repeatable things where you can take the same lines and show it off over and over again.
Yeah, and that's really awesome. And I've created a couple trails for my RC stuff, which have even become like real buggy trails out here where people know what they are and what they're named. And there's a lot of local people who will go out and then put on their stories on Instagram, hey, I'm out here running on Mousetrap. And I think that's super cool.
That's cool. That's great. That's really neat.
That is.
Rich Trujillo is in here. Wait, is Logan going to replace Josh? Sweet.
Right.
I'm getting a lot of comments about that, about like Logan's replacing Josh tonight or forever. What are you doing on Thursday nights, Logan?
When you're buying a new truck, Logan, do you buy it with the intent of doing a slow process build up, or do you? Or I guess I should say, like, when you're thinking about new rigs now, are you thinking about buying a truck and then upgrading, or are you thinking about buying parts and building a truck more? I see a chassis behind you is part of the reason why I ask.
This guy here, is this the chassis we're talking about?
Yeah.
So, that's an interesting question. I think it depends on which truck it is and what the features are on that truck. Like the Phoenix, I bought the Phoenix for what it was, and I didn't change a whole lot on that truck because it had the adjustable overdrive in the front, which was an option for rear wheel drive, and then it also had a dig unit and freewheel in the rear, and it's an awesome truck, and I really enjoyed the feature set it had. Whereas a base camp, where it is not as feature rich, I'm more looking at doing a build series in it. And then of course there's always the, hey, those G-Speed rails look pretty cool. I bet I can build a whole truck. What that usually starts with is I'm going through my parts bins and I'm like, oh, here's axles, here's the transmission. I'm like, oh, well, I got a whole truck. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's, kind of like the two of us have got to as well. It depends now. I don't know that, like, when did you get to the point where you were comfortable being like, I can figure out every individual piece to get or buy to build a truck? Because that's something that I think is daunting to some new people when they come in.
Yeah, and that is interesting because I started getting back into this 3 years ago or so. I bought an Axial 1.9 Wraith, and I remember sending questions on Instagram messages of just like the guys local I had never even met and whatnot. And I was like, how do I put rear steer on this thing? What would be needed? And I didn't understand channels on radios, or I had to go to the hobby shop and ask them advice of what's a good motor to put in this. I don't know. And now I'm finally catching on to not only what KVs are, but my preferences on KVs and certain trucks. That's a huge part of it, is having the experience of trying different things. So now
all of that comes with time.
Exactly. And you got to experiment and play with it. But as far as turning wrenches, I've always been super happy to grab a truck, tear it apart. And that's one of my favorite things, is working on these things. It's so satisfying to put them all together, and it's just fun to me.
Wrenching time.
That's for sure. You know, and I think that
wrenching,
you know, a lot of, like Kevin in here was just saying, now it's a lot like building a PC. And I think it is in the fact that, like, you can't, just because you have a couple of axles, or, you know, doesn't mean that these gears will work in it. It's like getting that little bit of familiarity with knowing what's going to work with something else. And then once you get comfortable with that, you're like, oh, now I can make the rest of this happen.
Yeah,
but it just takes that getting over that hump of those few things.
Oh, here's a question here real quick from Some Guys RC. How do you come up with the names for your trails? That's actually a pretty good question.
So, yeah, that's either my dad or my brother asking that. So, one of the areas down here has a real rock crawling trail in it. And it's not a huge patch of rocks by any means compared to the mountain that's out there, but it's pretty good size for RCs. And the real rock crawling trail there is Chutes and Ladders, which is a play on the name of the board game. And so I decided it'll be easier to name trails if I go with other board games. So Mousetrap is a canyon, but not only did I just randomly pick Mousetrap, the bottom of it is always littered with like desert mouse poop. And so I was like, man, there's just mouse poop all over this thing. And I was like, well, this is Mousetrap, obviously. And that's one of the more popular ones there.
That's good. That's good. I like that.
That's actually great. I like the board game.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah. Honestly, trail names are some of the most fun thing. Like, no matter where you're at, the Hammers, you know, all theirs is amazing. But like, you go to OHVs anywhere in the country, and like, you come up and you're just like, there's a story behind this, I'm sure, and I'd love to hear it. I think, but
it's like this one. I'm calling this one Operation. This one over here, that's chess. This one's Monopoly. You've got names for days, Logan.
Oh, absolutely. And the other problem was, without that kind of box to put myself in, there are so many weird, like, you can name this trail Peanut Butter and Jelly, and it's just like, it doesn't even make sense for wheeling, but you could if you wanted.
Yeah,
so
totally.
Having something to contain my options really helped me actually name them.
This one over here is Settlers of Catan.
So
it's gonna take a long time to set up, and it's not very fun when you play it.
And it takes 14 hours.
Well, have you ever been to Trail Hero?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's always one I've wanted to get to, and you know, it's kind of those. They've got that. At Trail Hero, they do the Trail Breaker, right? Where if you make it through it, you get to name the trail.
Yep. So I can elaborate on that a little bit if you'd like.
Yeah, I only know of it peripherally, really.
Right. So Trail Hero is in early October. It's down here in the Sand Hollow State Park. Sand Hollow State Park is an open OHV area, which means it's the equivalent of what sand dunes are, because that's originally how it was designated by BLM or whoever's in charge of it. So in a sand dune, you can drive wherever you want. There aren't roads. And so they also applied that to the rocks. And so you can take a buggy, and any rock you see, you can legally go drive over it. So what they're able to do is pick out any canyon they want, as difficult or as easy as they want, and go drive through it. And so I actually got the opportunity to go out and ride with Rich Klein, who runs Trail Hero. He took me out in his buggy. And so he's the one who organizes Trail Breaker. And so they take 10 of the best drivers in the world. They put them on this course. There are flags that they have to get from point A to point B. They have a time limit to get through 2 or 3 flags, and then there's 4 stages. In the end, the person who wins is anybody who can make it all the way through, and the person who can do it in the most time-efficient manner. And it's not racing at all. They're still crawling on some of the hardest terrain in existence. Yeah. So if you can get out of the end at all, you're doing good. But whoever wins the event gets to name the trail. And there are some trail breakers where they've never completed the course, and they're technically unnamed. The first person who does complete the course can then rename it if they want.
Oh, that
So
is actually.
This year was a total rain fest, and it ended up completely muddy. And they had designed the courses for dry traction, and so nobody could do half of the course. And they ended up naming the trail for this year "Slip and Slide" is what they called it.
Good one. Good.
That, that's always that's one thing that crawling events can lack at times is like things be in the crawling, they can be a little slow. Like spectator wise, we rock even like it can be for spectators not always the most interesting, depending on what part of the country you're in and your terrain. And having an unbeatable course is sometimes like the worst of any of those type of situations. Like
luckily,
it just takes forever.
Luckily, they break it up into 4 sections, so hopefully only one section is unbeatable, and then 3 have action going on.
Yeah. That's trail here I'd really like to get down to. It looks like a great time.
Can you name a trail Ding Dong? Do you think that would be a possibility?
So I have an obstacle down here. Unfortunately, I don't have a buggy to drive it and name it, but I have the obstacle picked out that I want to try and convince one of the buggy guys to try. Maybe I'll try and get, I don't know if I'll go for Ding Dong, but I want to try and get an obstacle out here, like Wheeler's Choice or something. But I'm not gonna go Logan's obstacle. That seems a little self-centered.
Logan's the best #1.
I should name a trail "Like and Subscribe." Not get a channel name, just like and subscribe.
It works.
I like it. That's good. Yeah. Or what's up, guys? What's up, guys? Oh, Logan.
Well.
It's been really nice having you on the show tonight. Is there? So you've got your next event is next weekend, right?
Yes.
Or this approaching weekend, I guess.
Yep.
Any other plans? Are you going to hit any events outside of your area? Like, are you going to go to Axial Fest or PLBTF?
So I've never been to either By the Fire or Axial Fest, and I really want to try and get to Axial Fest this year. That's been one of my goals last year, but didn't end up happening. Yeah, I absolutely want to get down there. I've got my Capra build that would be super appropriate, the base camp. I've also got a gatekeeper on Capra axles that I could put a 3-gear in. And so I'm like, it meets the rules.
Yep, it would.
So I don't know. I absolutely would like to get out there though. What's funny is I really want to go to Axial Fest, and all my friends are like, dude, go to By the Fire. So it's a split.
I mean, I've got an invite. If you want to meet me in real life, you can come to Proline By the Fire.
Are both of you guys planning on attending any events this year?
I
know Josh kind of has to for quite a few.
Yeah.
Well, to maintain appearances, he has to. Yeah,
exactly.
That Sharpie doesn't run out on its own. He'll be at both. Yeah. I am much more likely to be at Proline By the Fire than I am Axial Fest, but we'll see. We'll see.
I'm just gonna punch into Expedia what it's gonna cost me to fly into.
With previous experience, if you could only pick one, which one are you thinking?
So the only reason that that's really hard to say is because that this is a new location for Axial Fest. And while I know it's next to Epic Terrain, I don't know if there's Epic Terrain at the location. And while half the fun of any of these events is the people, I'd like to have some terrain as well. Like So
I'm waiting for Josh to do his recon, and then I'll make a decision based on that.
Yeah, and it was the one thing was there was still so much snow up there, but I guess that's about cleared up.
Because regardless of what it is, I'm either staying at the Ramaza Inn or I'm finding my own Airbnb.
Yeah,
which I've discussed this with Matt a few times. If you ever need an excuse to get down and wheel where I'm at, Zion National Park's right around the corner. It's absolutely worth a trip there once in your life. But not only that, after you've seen Zion for a few days while you're here, go drive off on some trails. I've driven my RC cars in Zhiyun, which is about as wild as it gets. It's pretty awesome. I had a park ranger pull me over with an RC, which is a new one for me. He informed me that I was indeed allowed to drive there according to his boss. So whatever he said, I was going to keep driving. But
yeah. Like, cool. I'll be there. Like Zhiyun is one of those places that you should absolutely make an attempt to see once in your life. I've
been there multiple times because it's 30 minutes away, and every time you show back up, you're still just like, this place is way crazier than I remember. Like
that's amazing.
Sheer cliffs, 1,500 feet straight up, and it's really something to see.
We had scale nationals at Three Peaks in like 2013 maybe, and I flew into Cedar City. I was just going to check if there was a flight from Sacramento to Cedar City for the Utah versus.
There you go.
But, there you go. It looks like it's about $995 round trip.
Ooh, ouch!
You could just charter a PJ for that. So.
Yeah, I know.
Kidding.
Like, yeah. Here's one for $539 round trip. It's not as bad.
Another thing you can look at, depending on what you want to do, Salt Lake International. It's a 3-hour drive from Salt Lake. Or St. George. It's still a very small airport in St. George, so I don't think your ticket's going to be that much better. But that's two options. Salt Lake would probably be pretty reasonable. But then you got to
problem is, if I fly into Salt Lake, I don't know that I'll leave Salt Lake. I really like Utah. Like Utah's like one. I would have a really hard time if I was moving somewhere not wanting to move to Utah.
That's funny you should say that because that's what every other Californian has said in the last.
I'm not
a
Californian. So. Maintain that.
Yeah, Josh,
I'm
you just said a bad
transplant.
word.
I believe you there because of how you originally found my YouTube. So you're good.
Yeah, right. Ooh, it's only $450 to fly into.
Oh, there you go.
Supreme. Not bad.
Supreme No HP. I have heard of Call to Crawl. That is a fairly common, decent, popular event here in Ontario.
Joe Zaniga, who just posted here, said, thank you for the dump. Just said, you ready for the Clash comp this weekend? And unfortunately, I am not making it. I have my ticket, but I'm not going to be able to make it down there. And
you're busy.
Pretty well. I wouldn't have said that we were going to do the build off if I was still planning to. But Nicole didn't leave when she was supposed to. She didn't. She's not actually leaving until Friday late. So
passport issues.
Yeah. Kansas City International still pretty tight on. So unfortunately I don't get to make it down to that one, but
one poor end on my planning for my final event is it is during Dead Man's Crawl, which isn't quite.
Oh, that's the element event.
Yeah. And I know that Rock Pirates intended on going to Dead Man's Crawl, and they ended up switching their plans because they are the title sponsor for the Utah State Championship. So,
yeah,
priorities.
But they've also been out here and crawled. I've crawled with those guys before, and they're super awesome, and they know how good the terrain is, so they know they're not missing out on much. So,
yeah, I'm this flying into St. George doesn't sound like a terrible idea. Interesting.
Give it some thought.
I know.
On that note, though, it is 11 o'clock, so we're gonna have to wrap this up.
Oh, you're right.
Logan, thank you so much for joining us tonight and sharing some of your builds. And more info can be found on West Desert Wheeler.
West Desert Wheeler.
YouTube. It's not Ding Dong. Surprisingly. Doesn't have anything to do with that.
What he and when he watches flying cars, there will be an opportunity.
You can
for
come
a
back.
Trip.
You can come back, but you have to watch the damn movie
one time.
Yeah.
Yes, and I definitely want to send out a huge thank you guys to having me on tonight. I greatly appreciate it. Watching you guys on the stream for so long, it's really cool to be on here and chat with you guys. I really appreciate it. So
it's not nearly as cool as you thought, though, was it?
Yeah, it's good talking to you on video. Normally, it's just through text message or through Instagram.
Yeah, now you
messages.
guys can't
Thanks for watching.
Back and forth. That's the nice part.
Well, we look forward to that. Thank you very much, Logan.
Man.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Take care, buddy. That was nice. Have that man on there.
Great time having him on. I agree.
Heck of a nice guy.
And thanks to Logan for making the time to come on.
Yes, and turning his cell phone on, using up that data.
Oh yeah, hopefully that's not an issue for him. But trying to get my stream to come back. There we go. Fixed it.
All right. Yeah. So I guess what are you building on Friday?
There hasn't even been a thought of that. I've been thinking about builds a lot, but it hasn't been about that at all.
Yeah. No, it's only about the base camp.
And I can't work on it.
Nope.
So I don't know. I need to I should figure something out. And then I'm going to make it like a marathon stream till, so that I can stay up late and then sleep in.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I wish you best of luck with that. All right. Well, I've got projects on the go, but all that's going to have to get shelved for the next couple of days. I have been trying to just sort of like wrap stuff up and get it done. I've got a video coming out tomorrow on the TWS CTS VTR 4x4. Final review and run of that little truck. Plucky is a word I use to describe it. That's
a great word.
It is a good word.
Just like when you do it, you just kind of go, "Ow, God, that sucked." Like
It's plucky. Like it can because it's small.
It is.
Get into little areas.
I love the style of the truck, and that was the part that was just like.
Yeah,
I think that looks fantastic.
Looks just like about perfect.
It blurs my feelings for it totally when I see like that. I mean, it looks like it should be right on the cover of an NWA album. Oh, chuffed. Perfect.
Oops.
You did a great job. I think that is.
Thank you very much.
Buck Dandy, thank you, sir. So Buck Dandy was watching Flying Cars. So do I just need a YouTube channel and then you can have your coolest guest ever?
That's pretty much how it works, man. Watch the movie, start a YouTube channel.
Get on the live stream. Profit. Yeah. Pickle Rick would have been a good name for it as well. I agree, Ryan.
There were some other good trail names that came up in here.
Oh, there was a bunch on here. Some of them that I couldn't say out loud, even if I wanted to.
Video suggested Hungry Hippos, which is good. Toss the Burrito, Beggar's Canyon, Dungeons and Dragons. What else have we got here? Dragon Ball Z.
That's a board game?
Wow.
Oh, well.
I don't play board games.
Nicole and I love board games. Thank you.
I do too, given the right context. Name it Logan's Run. Brought to you by Hall & Oates.
Oh, yeah, I saw Hall & Oates on here. That one was good.
Yeah. Ding Dong Ditch.
Good game if you're bored. Maybe that counts.
All right. Well, I think that's gonna do it.
Yes.
For tonight.
Well,
thank you to the following: Hotel Night Cinema, Crawler Baller, Chuck's RC Habit, Williams Lake Scale Off Road, Blind Guy RC, He meant paint job on the FMS. There you go. Thank you. Mr. HS, Andrew Bernardi, Crawler Baller, and I'm Emo Vengeance.
Good name. Thank you to Gunner Nissen, Satisfied Jerky, Dale C, Blind Guy RC, Williams Lake Scale Off Road, Jeremiah Salberg, Blind Guy RC, Scott O'Blander, Brian Sherwood, Joe Zaniga, Buck Dandy. Much thanks to all of you. Thanks for joining again. 113 weeks.
113 weeks in a row. Not
Ridiculous.
Missed one of these. Well, I've missed a couple, you've missed a couple, but we've always managed to make it happen.
The show has gone on. So,
indeed it has.
If you guys have, we're going to continue with the guests while we have this time when we can focus on helping get things organized.
If you have any suggestions for guests,
you have people you'd like to see, throw them in there.
Put a comment down below. I love reading through your feedback, and I try to answer as many of them as I can. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night.
See ya.
Love you. Bye.